Well, that's not good. Well, what's up guys? This is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead. As you can see, we're out cutting a little bit of firewood today. It started off a really cloudy, cool day, and we're expecting some nighttime temperatures to get down in the 30s, and I need to get some firewood cut. I've already got a pretty good stack of firewood, by no means like a winter supply, but that was all cut and split last year. The logs that I'm all cutting up today were logs that we piled up last winter after we dozed part of our property. So these have all been sitting for right at a year. They weren't cut into rounds, but we're gonna get a bunch of them cut up today. I've already been working for 30 or 40 minutes or so, and then we're gonna fire up this wood splitter and get a few loads of firewood hauled up to the house. So we don't burn a ton of firewood every year, but we do supplemental heat our home with our wood stove. Now I say supplement, actually I would say probably the majority of our heat is from the wood stove. It tremendously helps decrease our electric bill because our central heat and air unit is total electric. So not only is it a good supplemental heat to help reduce the cost of our electric bill, in the wintertime our electric bill is probably $100 to $140 a month cheaper than it is in the summertime because of wood heat. But it's also a good backup heat source in case we ever lose power or anything. We do have propane on the property, but our central heat and air unit's not propane, so we use wood heat as a good source to heat our home, plus that backup heat. And you can cook on our wood stove. Our wood stove is an old cast iron, standalone freestanding wood stove. It's not an insert, so that thing, once it gets warmed up, you can cook on it for hours without ever touching the fire. It's not a cook stove, but it has dual purpose if you needed it to. But anyways, my wood splitter, this is the second year I've been using this wood splitter. We're gonna fire it up in a minute. This is the Eastonmade Axis. And I talked to the owner of the company last year, and he offered to send us one down to demo out and try out. This thing is a beast. It's probably about 3 times more of a wood splitter than what I need, because I'm not a commercial firewood guy, but you could easily run a commercial firewood business with this one splitter. It's incredible. It's got so much power. Last year I was trying all kinds of different things just to see if I could outwork it or get too big of a round to put on there that it couldn't split. But it's a little different than just about any other wood splitter on the market. We'll get this thing fired up and I'll show it to you, but the way it operates and the way it works and has this hydraulic lift on the side, it's pretty awesome. They also sell this one with a conveyor belt. You can see this side doesn't have anything on it. It's got 2 open bolt holes right there, and you can put a conveyor belt on there so that you could stack firewood into like a dump trailer or something, which I don't have a dump trailer and I really don't want to do that, run it off a conveyor belt into my pickup truck. So I just plan on backing my Kubota Sidekick up right next to it and we'll load straight into that. Last year I did the same thing with my pickup, although I got a new pickup truck this year and it doesn't have a bed liner, and it's a huge 3/4 ton truck that I really don't want to drive through my yard. So we're just going to do small loads for now with the Sidekick. So let's fire this thing up and get to splitting. Well, I'm no mechanic, but it doesn't take a smart person to understand that this engine is not running properly today. So I had some issues with the engine itself. The wood splitter's fine. I had some issues with the engine earlier this year. I was firing it up just to get it running and going, and it didn't want to run at all. And I was called, well, actually Adam from Hometown Acres called me earlier, and he has one of these machines. His was built when they were using Honda engines. This one has a Vanguard. And the reason that Eastonwood switched last year was they were just having a horrible time getting Honda engines. So they did a lot of testing on this, and they thought it was a great engine, so they went to using them. So this is a 14 horsepower Vanguard commercial power engine. Now, I'm not a mechanic, but I could tell it wasn't running right. Obviously, it just died. I mean, it hasn't been running right for me since I got it started earlier today. So I want to show you something. This is maybe just a design flaw on behalf of Vanguard. I don't know. So my first thought was it didn't sound like it was running good. I'd already drained all the gasoline, put fresh gasoline in it because I thought maybe I had some bad gas or something. Got it going, it was running. But today it just is not running good. So look at this. The air filter on here is black. And when I was talking to Adam from Hometown Acres, he said he had a buddy that got one of these with the same engine. And what they realized was, so here's the exhaust, and the exhaust has a little port that shoots the actual exhaust out this way. Well, here's the problem. Right below that, right here, is the air intake. So that exhaust is literally blowing out straight at the air intake. So this has 3 screws that you can take out and turn that and direct that exhaust a different direction. I'm gonna go ahead and take the air filter off. I don't have another one right now. I'm gonna order a new one, take this back to the house and blow it out a little bit. Probably not gonna help, but look how black this thing is. This air filter, well, the whole machine is less than a year old and probably only has 10 or 12 hours on it. So I think what I'll do is I'll just go back to the house, unload what firewood I have split, and bring some tools back down here and turn that little port around after I blow out the air filter and stuff. We'll see if that helps. Adam said that helped his buddies. Nothing against Eastonmade. The Axis is a good splitter. I just think there's a little bit of a small design flaw in the way Vanguard turned their exhaust directly at the air intake. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Dropped it right in the grass. Found it. Alright, so the way they've made this thing has got plenty of holes and plenty of options. We don't want to turn it up so rain gets in it, but why couldn't we just turn this thing so that it directs the exhaust backwards instead of right at the air intake? I mean, I'm no gasoline engine, but I know I don't like to sit there and breathe exhaust fumes. I can't imagine an engine wants to sit there and breathe gas fumes all day either. Let's see if we can get all these back in without losing any. Well, I don't have a new air filter yet, so I cleaned the old one as best I could, blew it out, and we'll see if that makes a difference, but I'm definitely gonna have to order a new air filter. That one's just too black. So let's give it a pull, and maybe we'll get lucky and see if maybe that'll actually help. I mean, surely an engine sitting there breathing exhaust has got to run poor over time. So maybe pointing that exhaust a different way will help. Well, that's not good. I think there's more to it, obviously. Right now, I think having a new air filter would really help. but we may have carburetor issue. I'm not sure. You guys see what happened right there, right? That was in real time. That was in real time, 100%. I said the C word. We may have a problem with the C word. Fired it up. It's running 100 times better, even with that dirty air filter. I'm gonna go ahead and order a new air filter. I'll get on Amazon and order one. But pointing that exhaust away from the air intake solved all the problems. I don't know whose idea it was to point that directly at the air intake. That was, somebody messed up at the Vanguard, but we'll get back to splitting. I don't have a lot more wood cut right now. The kids and my wife are fixing to be home, but I'll do a little bit more splitting. Well, the old Eastonmade Axis seems to be purring like a kitten now. Turning that exhaust fixed the problem, so I'm glad it wasn't much more than that. But like I said, I'm not much of a mechanic, but some stuff is pretty simple, and you know, if you're gonna live in the country, you got to be able to work on your own stuff at some point. Hey, things are gonna break, things are gonna get old, which this is not old, but if you're interested in a wood splitter, I encourage you to check out Eastonmade. Go check out their website. They've got a ton of commercial wood splitters. I mean, big firewood processors all the way down to smaller wood splitters. So anyways, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for today. Couple loads of firewood. I got a huge pile. We've got a long ways to go when it comes to firewood. And I don't like to cut wood when it's hot. It's almost turned out a little bit too warm today. It's about 75 degrees. It's just incredibly tough for me to get out and cut firewood in the summertime when it's 100 degrees in Oklahoma and 80% humidity or more. It's not worth it. But I've got plenty of logs cut. I've even got more logs. They were originally supposed to be for some friend of mine's sawmill purposes, but that hasn't happened yet, so those could become a lot of good firewood right there. So we got plenty of wood cut, just need to get it cut into rounds and split, so we'll be good for the winter, I know that. And like I said, it's just supplemental heat for our family. It's not a dire emergency. We're not burning wood like somebody in Canada is going to need, you know, several cords of wood to get through the winter. We have plenty. Typically what I've done in the past is I go out into the woods and find standing dead trees in our area. Oak trees will die. We'll get oak trees that'll be 10 or 12 inches in diameter that'll die, and they'll just be standing dead for 2 or 3 years. And when you cut those down and split them, they're almost like kiln dried lumber, and they burn incredibly well. But this was all logs that we had from pushing timber on our property. So anyways, I'm not quit yapping, get off of here and clean up my mess and go to the house and start supper for the family. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.